If you've been training consistently, but your physique still isn't changing, then before you think about overhauling your entire training setup, increasing volume, adding different exercises, or changing nutrition, then it's because you're making one of these 5 mistakes. And I'm going to go through the solutions later on in the video. But before we dive into that, one of the most important things that's kind of going to dictate this is this muscle growth cycle. So the first thing that we do when we go into the gym is we elicit a stimulus on the body. That's literally the main job, whatever it is, whether it be a bicep curl, whether it be a side raise, we are eliciting a stimulus on that muscle. We are creating micro tears. From there, we are then going to recover. So this can be in the case of sleeping. So here's my bed. That's my standard drawing of a bed. Put some Z's above it there. So we need to make sure that we're getting adequate sleep and we're recovering. From there, then we need to make sure that you are fueling that recovery. So here's my pathetic drawing of a shake. If you watch my previous videos, then you'll see how poor of a drawer I am on the boards. But you know, they're here to stay. So just get used to it. These are going to be poor, but I'm working on it, okay? It's a work in progress. Now, once we've done that, if you've done all those 3, we're going to see adaptation. But more often than not, if you're getting really good sleep, but you're not really training that hard, then we're not going to get adaptation. If you are creating really good stimulus, you're training hard, you're recovering well with good sleep, you're getting 7-8 hours, but your nutrition's poor, we're not getting enough nutrition in, we're not recovering properly, we're not fueling the sessions, we don't see the adaptation. So whatever it is, most guys are kind of ticking one of those, but they're not making sure that all of those are aligned, which is why they never get to this point and why their physique never changes. Now, when we dive into here with the top 5 mistakes, the first one is, and it's going to hurt so many people's egos here, but they're simply just not training hard enough. It's very easy to look at other guys on the gym floor and think, right, it could be steroids, it could be certain supplements they're taking, it could be the fact that they've got a specific split that works really well for them, it could just be that their genetics are superior. All of these might be, factors that are important, of course they are, but before we start throwing those accusations out, then are you truly training to failure? I sit there constantly in the gym, in between sets, and I put my phone away, I zip it up, I look around, you've got people scrolling through their phones, taking 5-6 minutes between sets. You've got guys doing 12 reps on like 8 kilos with like a bench press, and I'm looking at them, and regardless of being a beginner, they are so much, and I'm not even saying this to be judgmental, I'm actually saying it as a compliment. They are so much more capable than what they think they are, and they're just staying in their comfort zone, doing 8 for 12, and I'm thinking you could genuinely double the weight and still get that amount of reps. Yes, there'll be an element of struggle, but we need to, again, create that stimulus. So the most important thing here is track your lifts, 12 weeks as a minimum. If you get into the end of 12 weeks and you're not really lifting more, you're starting to see the picture here. Are we doing these 2? Because that's going to be the factor. If we're not, we know where the answer lies. Number 2, not adhering to nutrition. So many guys, they'll set up a diet, they'll set up some kind of, whether it be low carb, whether it be lower fat, high carb, they'll make a setup, but they don't really stick to it. Like, they'll stick to it for a few days, but they don't adhere to that setup. And the reason why is because they don't have a nutrition structure. So most guys will track calories and have protein in place. The most important thing is to actually have a structure in place first and almost have that foundation and then work the calories into it. So if you've got, 3 meals and then you've got, right, okay, I'm going to have, 15% for breakfast. You're going to have 25% for your lunch. You're going to have, again, here, you might have 30% pre-workout, 30% post-workout. So from there, that obviously all adds up. So that would be how you'd split your calories. But people don't do that. They just go, right, I'm going to have this for my breakfast. I'm going to try and squeeze this in. I'm going to try and make sure I can just get in this chocolate bar. It just never fucking works. It hasn't. I've done this for so long. It just never does. I've seen so many examples of it not working. And it's because people's diets predominantly consist of quite a lot of processed food. So their hunger's never controlled. This one, poor recovery. So kind of goes back to this with sleep and routine. So with work, right, what time are you going to be training? Make sure that we can be consistent with it. And then sleep, what's the sleep hygiene like? Are you scrolling through your bed at 12, 1 in the morning? Are you watching too much Netflix? Have you got too much screen time? Especially if you've been on a screen all day with work and you're doing that, you're overstimulated. It's so important that we get on top of a routine on that front. Now, this one is a little bit broader. Inconsistent weeks. I don't want to be on this video. I want to make sure that you can walk away from this video with a bit of clarity and a bit of direction, and you can use this and apply some of these strategies for your own training. I don't want it to just be blanket statements. I feel like so many coaches will just say, oh, just be more consistent. And it doesn't really mean anything. Like, people sort of go to the gym, they track, they want to know why they can't be consistent. And it's down to me to highlight that highlight where they're going wrong, raise that self-awareness, and then look at a solution. And the reason why is we need to look into, like, well, what's the stress? What's setting you off? Is it work hours? Is it you've had an argument with your missus? Is it, one of your kids has been poorly? Because then from there, we can start to look at the biggest thing, which is triggers. So if they're causing a trigger for you to just go into the cupboard and just start binging on stuff, then we need to, at least we're then aware of the pattern, and it's down to us to now go, okay, well, what strategies can we put in place to prevent that from happening in the future? And then the final one, which I see so often, and it's a little bit, how would I word it? It's quite ironic that people wait for motivation, because motivation is a byproduct of results. So when people sit there and they're like, just not motivated, the reason that they're not motivated is not because they're weird. It's not because they're just lazy, although they can be. It's because they're just waiting for something to happen. You've got to make things happen. So you've got to make sure that all of this setup is nailed. And then what happens is, if we were to look at, the first thing will be clarity, like this. The next arrow would be direction. So from here, we've got what we're trying to achieve. What's the goal here? Then down here, we'd have the setup or plan, whatever you want to call it, program. It's got 500 names. Here, you would then have the hard work. So if you have a full buy-in to a coaching process and you have full trust in the person setting it up and the plan in place, and you put hard work into it, then we're going to see results. And when we see results, then we see motivation. And then the results, you might, lose 10 pounds, right? Okay, I've done that goal. You then go, right, set a new goal. Clarity, direction, and you just keep going round and round and round. And that's essentially what you would do for losing 10 pounds, gaining 10 pounds of muscle, whether you're setting up a high rocks training setup, whether you want to do a photo shoot, whether you want to do a bodybuilding competition, everything like that. You'd finish the goal, whatever it is, and then you go, right, get to the end of it, right, I'm going to set up a new one, and you just repeat that cycle. It's a repeatable process. You could use that with work as well. Having got clarity on my job roles, my responsibilities, what I need to do. From there, you will have direction. What do I need to set up to do it? How do I need to execute it? Then I'll see results as a byproduct. So it's super, super important that we have systems in place to make sure that this is bulletproof. Otherwise, it just all goes to shit. And that's why when people say about motivation, I understand what they're saying, but it makes no sense. It's likewise when people say, oh, my energy's a little bit low. Energy comes from movement. If you aren't moving, then and you die, it's not in the greatest place, there's no surprise that your energy levels are rock bottom. If you found this whole video useful, then make sure to like, share, make sure to subscribe to the channel because these are coming at you every single week. If you've got any questions, make sure you bang them in the comments section. And if you'd like to know some more info about coaching, then I've put the link below. Just click on the link, send me a message on WhatsApp, and I'll get round to it.